Hey good people, I know solar builds are what's hot this season. Ha, get it? But stasis is crazy strong too. Let's not forget that. So there's a stasis glaive build that I cooked up that is fun, hits hard, and keeps ads slow or frozen. The stars here are the Winterbite Heavy Glaive and the Triton Vice Exotic Gauntlets. Both have been buffed kinda recently, directly or indirectly. Winter shoots a big old snowball that tracks and freezes, and when it has ammo, melee does more damage and slows. This is big for a stasis build. Then Triton boosts reload and melee damage again when surrounded by 3 or more enemies. Melee kills will overflow the mag, and glaive projectiles go boom if the glaive matches the subclass element. And yup, it does. So y'all see that synergy right there? Now for the subclass, you can run the good old silence and squall because of course that's all we got. Then for your dodge, take whatever you like. I run gambler's dodge, then jump whatever you prefer, then withering blade of course. This is a stasis shuriken you throw to damage and slow, and this is going to be nice and important to the build as well. And then when it comes to grenades, you can pretty much use whichever ones you want. Best working ones are Dustfield, but my choice is Glacier. Why is this my choice? Because it makes stasis crystals, and that's so important to this build. You'll see. Then aspects, I go with Grim Harvest. So this one, for defeating slowed or frozen combatants, you're gonna make stasis shards. These shards grant melee energy when picked up by you or your homies. And then Winter's Shroud. Dodging slows nearby targets. Why do I go with this versus any of the others? Because dodging the slow is gonna save your cheeks a lot when you're in melee range. Now as far as your fragments go, then there's the Whisper of Refraction. So defeating slowed or frozen targets gives you class ability energy to help you with the keep on dodging so you can keep on slowing. It's a nice little loop. Then chains, while you're near frozen targets or friendly stasis crystals, you're going to take reduced damage and you get 10 more recovery from that. Then you got Whisper of Torment, so you're going to get more grenade energy every time you take damage from targets. The Conduction will give nearby stasis shards tracking all the way to you, plus that nice little 10 resilience and 10 intellect. And the last one that I use is Rhyme. So when you collect a stasis shard, which remember they're tracking to you, it's going to give you some overshield, which falls off after 10 seconds. But collecting additional shards, you know it'll add to the overshield and it'll reset the timer like most things do. As for one of my weapons, I'm going to run a stasis. Why? Because the perk Headstone is so clutch right here, and it really brings this build to another level. So Headstone, if you don't know what it does, your precision final blows is going to spawn a stasis crystal. Remember, that's overshield, and it should track to you, so do not forget that. And then the other part of this that I think is really important to keeping you alive when you go in and start stabbing is gonna be a grenade launcher that has disorienting grenades. Why? Because you can shoot it, blind a pack of enemies, run in, get the melee boost from surrounded, chop them all up, dodge out to any remaining enemies that might still be alive, and you can slow them, dip out, get some distance, use that weapon, get those headstones popping, get some stasis, get some more overshield, and then go in. Now let's talk about artifact mods you might want. First up is going to be Flame Fiber and Freeze, because you're going to want to take advantage of that Stasis Siphon mod. Then Torch if you're working in a team, because while Radiant, you deal increased weapon damage to combatants affected by Strand and Stasis debuffs. Then of course you got Dragon's Bite, breaking the combatant's shield with a Strand or Stasis weapon has a chance to suspend or freeze that combatant. The freeze part is what we're going for. And then Pillar of Ice means defeating an encased combatant, which means they're frozen in a crystal, spawns stasis crystals. Remember that overshield? And the last one there is Hail the Storm. Shattering encased targets and stasis crystals deals increased damage. Shattering stasis crystals release shards of ice that damage and slow targets. These are the things that really are going to elevate the hell out of this build, y'all. And now for armor mods. Let's start with your helmet. Of course, you're going to want Font of Wisdom, so you gain a bonus to intellect while you have any armor charge. Armor charges are going to decay over time, but this is going to help you throw your super as much as you can. Of course, heavy ammo finder is going to be important to keep that ammo into your winter so that you can take advantage of that extra damage and slowing. Then of course, as we talked about, Triton Vice, so on your gauntlets, you're going to want to put on Focusing Strike. Grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a powered melee attack. And then Font of Vigor, you gain a bonus to strength while you have any armor charge. Your armor charge now decays over time, so this is going to help you throw more of those stasis shurikens. And on your chest piece, of course, go for stasis reserves. More ammo in that glaive is going to help. And to keep you alive, I like running emergency reinforcement. So when your shields become broken, you gain a temporary damage reduction. So that's actually really helpful when you get caught with your pants down. And then for your legs, go ahead and get Recuperation. Replenishes health each time you pick up an Orb of Power. This is going to be very nice to also keeping you alive. Then Orbs of Restoration. Picking up an Orb of Power grants a small amount of energy to your ability with the least energy. This is just a neutral game thing to help you have your abilities charged when you need them. And then of course the Stasis Scavenger mod, so when you pick up heavy, you got more heavy. As for your cloak, you are going to want to run Powerful Attraction. Automatically collects nearby orbs of power when you activate your class ability. So not only when you dodge should you slow enemies, but you'll get health back immediately if you got orbs of power on the ground, which you most likely should. Then I throw on a bomber, which reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability, and of course Reaper. Shortly after using your class ability, your next weapon final blow spawns an orb of power. Just keeps orbs of power on the ground and ready to heal you and ready to charge your abilities. As for your stats, honestly your first 4 are going to be the most important to this build. Mostly being resilience, mobility, and recovery. I would keep resilience and recovery as stacked as you can. The first 4 are your gems here. So in this build, just remember, you want to do everything I said before as far as throwing that grenade, freezing, blinding them before you go in and start chopping. But also, don't forget about your long range game, because your long range game with headstone and throwing those shurikens and shooting off your heavy, which is gonna blow up, hit pretty damn hard, and be able to freeze and slow, is so key to this. It's gonna keep you with overshield, and it makes pretty damn fast work of yellow bars and up. So this is very strong if you play the long game as well as the short game and get up close and just start chopping, when you can make sure you got all the buffs that come with this build. So let me know how y'all feel about this build. I love it. I think it's fun, and I think it's actually a lot better at dealing with enemies and ads than you might expect. So if y'all have any tips on making this better, or if y'all got your own stasis build, please let me know. If this helps at all, a subscribe, a like, hitting that bell, and those comments again help me out a lot. I appreciate y'all. Take care, and I'm out.